As I step out into the world and begin walking down a chosen path, I am fascinated by the openness of the sky. Its blue color, caused by the scattering of sunlight of the air molecules in the atmosphere, paints a gradient going from darker blue at the nadir and becoming almost white at the horizon. Deeper in the blue and further above are flying objects. Some are bathed in light, some are hidden in the shadow of the planet. They are machines made into heavenly bodies, following strictly laid out trajectories and sending electromagnetic waves through the air. Signals chasing rays of light, directionless but connected to the ground. The terrain gets recorded and the landscape rendered digital. The surface of the earth then becomes a topography. Hills and slopes, curves and planes get reduced to a mesh, a set of points connected by vectors, intersected by different planes and projected onto screens for further measurement. Are these collisions of surfaces as catastrophical as the collision of firm bodies in the air, or of solid matter combusting in friction as a result of its contact with air particles in the upper atmosphere? I do not know. The conditions for landscape development are set by its geological past and its biological specificity. All the matter came from somewhere, and all the past events shaped this matter into places or different forms of life. A significant part of the rocks of the Medvednica mountain formed on the bottoms of ancient seas, where smaller rocks, dust, and dead animals sedimented into layers that petrified through millions of years. As the sea levels fluctuated, so did Medvednica change roles. From being an underwater terrain, it emerged as an island, only to become the bottom of the ocean again, and finally, with the retreat of the sea, it remained on land, as a mountain. This land gave conditions for the emergence of cities, for cultures that changed in time, and for man-driven machines to devastate the vegetation growing on the slopes of the mountain. Many paths cut through the woods of the Medvednica mountain, and millions of footprints wash away the layers of sedimented dirt from the ground and release the rocks to be visible again. These are places of escape. Picnic areas or trails to run through that only remind us of our departure from the environment. And what is the biggest manifestation of our detachment from the land? Is it its digitized model? Or the light recorded by a camera and reproduced on a smartphone screen as a digital photograph? Can photography produce a worthy document of the land? Or does the Icarian position of flying encapsulate us furthest from the environment? The answers to these questions seem to lay in weary legs, painful feet, and worn-out knees. landscapes are malleable. The Earth's crust is soft and fluid, and constantly reinvented through factors such as weather conditions, volcanic explosions, or human activity. In the mid-20th century, one man named Vladimir Horvat carved and chiseled 500 steps into the mass of the Medvednica mountain. During a period of 7 years, he frequently returned to an impervious karstic slope of the mountain and turned it into a lovely hiking passage. A hiker going from top to bottom of these stairs will pass many interesting landmarks. The beginning of the stairs is situated near the so-called Dwarf's Cave. Continuing downward, hikers will pass a lookout with a view of Sljeme, the highest peak of Medvednica mountain. Around the 250th step, hikers will pass by a rock called My Bow. Opposite that rock are two narrow and deep pits, one called Tisa's Pit and the other one Second Pit. Soon the path begins to wind and the hikers pass near the so-called Small Cave and after one more serpentine pass through the wonderful Medvednica Cave. Here the stairs lead to a small resting area that signifies the official end of Horvat's 500 steps. The whole walk down the stairs is mildly challenging, with only a few difficulties that might arise from the steep terrain and rocks moving beneath your feet. There's a certain romanticism to be found on the lonely forest trails. I often venture into the woods alone, but soon enough realize that I am never alone. As I navigate the various directions and paths, my movements are traced. My body, now a dot in the field, is being watched by the eye of the global positioning system. My position is constantly reinterpreted by triangulation of signals between 3 different satellites, and the trace of my footsteps stored on my phone, and presented as an involuntary gift to multinational companies feeding off the information provided by their users. In this sense, any trace of romanticism has left the ground and became unreachable. Satellites flying in sun-synchronous orbit now experience the constant beauty of dusk and dawn, as their trajectories are set relative to the position of the sun in such a way that they never pass over day or night, but only over the terrain in sunset or sunrise. Back down below, the nature continues its strange dance. There, everything mingles with everything else. Non-living compete with the living, or they collaborate. Species try to rule out each other, or caress each other, like the various kinds of lichen covering the rocks, or fungi growing on dead trees. All of these relations happen simultaneously, and everything streams lively in constant transformation. I cannot help but wonder if the footprints in the mud can speak about events of the geological past, and how some footprints remain forever, petrified and hidden beneath layers of dirt. Can these footprints be seen from the skies above? We who made them have never actually seen the earth from above. We were never apart from the soil, but were always a part of the soil and everything around us. If I could get up there, I'd know how the stars look like, and being made from star stuff, how could I not know? There are certain kinds of enchantment and an even stronger disenchantment happening as I walk through the fog, as I get tired and can think only about food and all the salt obtained from the meals I ate that now moves through my body and drips from the pores on my skin onto the ground, where it might feed a flower, hit a rock, or more likely just evaporate. All my dreams of flying and walking, and of a possibility to understand the planet, reach their end as soon as I'm faced with the physical reality of everything around me. While I cross the land, I undertake each step as an attempt at pushing the whole planet downward with my feet. That results only in my body being propelled upward, but not too far from the ground. In this repetition, I lose my perspective, and trying to navigate in a medium as thin as air proves to be harder than expected, so I end up orienting myself only towards the horizon. I wonder if by reaching the horizon I will also reach the end of the world. And can we all stand on this edge? And which is this world that could be ending as we cross the threshold of the horizon? And what awkward steps lie ahead?